Bear with me here a moment as I get the screen share going. All right, for those of you new in the trading room, welcome. What you're looking at here is the diversified trading system, and it's diversified because we're looking at the market from 3 different points of view. Here across the top, I've got my Hawk micro scalper. Through the middle, I've got the Falcon swing trader, and across the bottom, the Eagle trend trader. I've got the NASDAQ going on this monitor, and on my other monitor, I've also got crude oil and the E-mini S&P going. But please don't be shy. I'd be happy to take a look at any market that's of interest to you. All right, so we've, bear with me here just a moment. All right, so let's take a look here, what's been going on. Actually, pretty quiet yesterday for the most part. Excuse me. So let's take a look here at the Falcon swing trader, and you can see the market really waffling quite a bit. We did get a little bit of a rally out of the open, then the market kind of turned on its heels, but the rest of the session we just spent going sideways into the close, pretty quiet through the overnight, and we're opening up pretty much where we left off yesterday. Now, this shouldn't be too big of a surprise. We are just a few days from the Christmas holiday break. The markets will remain open, of course, the week between Christmas and New Year, but trading will be very, very light. So a lot of traders going to be non-committal. As we get closer to the holiday season. Regardless, sorry, I just spotted something on crude oil. I wasn't sure if I wanted to take a crude oil trade here in a moment. Regardless of the tool that we're using, however, all the signals develop the same way. Here, let me see if I can find you something that looks a little bit more textbook, just so we can make things a little clearer. All right. So when a signal is beginning to build, we're going to get a warning dot along with an audio alert. When the signal is complete, we get a triangle and a hash mark. That tells us it's decision time on the signal. Most cases, what we're looking for is we're looking for confluence. Namely, we're looking for green bars, green signal, green trend line, and a green filter. Everything to be in sync. Here on the Falcon swing trader, we pay particular attention to the trend line. When the trend line is green, we're going to concentrate on buy signals. And when the trend line turns red, we're going to concentrate on sell signals. So you can see here the trend line is turning green. So we're in the middle of producing what we refer to as a trend change signal. So the trend line has now gone from red to green, and we're going to look for the market to retrace against these green bars, maybe give us a red bar or two. And then if the buyers are going to continue to hold the market, they're going to come back with a buy signal. Very similar to how this developed here. And I'm sorry everything's looking a little bit choppy this morning. But you can see we've got the green bar going up, the red, the sellers coming back, and then we come back with a buy signal right here. That's our trend change signal. These horizontal lines that you see going across here on the Falcon, this is actually what we call a system add-on. What that means, it's a standalone indicator. It will work on any chart, not just a DTS chart. These are the ultimate support and resistance suite. These lines are not pivot points, and they're not Fibonacci levels. They're actually much better. They're based on price action that's been going on for a while. I'm not going to get into the actual math of it. But the way they're split up, we've got 21 support and resistance lines that are forecast for today's trading. The gold line is the median line. That line is in the middle of the assortment. Then above we have primary resistance and primary support. These three lines tend to set the tone for the day. If the market breaks out from here to the upside, things are going to tend to be a little bit more bullish. If they break to the short side, they're going to tend to be a little bit more bearish. But you can see right now, we're pretty much sandwiched between those lines, skewered right on the median line. All right, well, here they come. They're going to maybe come back now with that trend change signal. No, just when you thought things were getting a little bit bullish, they start flashing those red bars again. Okay, so we'll come back to that. That's the Falcon Swing Trader. Here's the Hawk Micro Scalper. And again, I'm sorry that it looks very congested today. It's just the choppy nature of the market. All these yellow bars that you see cropping up here on the Hawk, this warns you that the market is getting a little bit neutral and sideways. So when you see a lot of yellow bars clustering like this, they're printing more or less on the same price level. That tells you that you're in a sideways market. People always say, hey, Eric, what's the best way to trade a sideways market? Well, the best way to trade a sideways market, quite honestly, is just to wait for the market to get outside of that sideways range. Let it break out from there, and then look for your opportunity. So we're testing the bottom end of the trading range now. We'll see whether or not we get a reaction here, or if we're finally going to get that breakout. All right. Yeah, so more yellow bars. Let's take a look here at the Eagle Trend Trader. So not much of a trend yesterday. Let's go back a day, and you can see what the Eagle Trend Trader looks like. So the Eagle Trend Trader has this band or cloud on it. No, it's not an Ichimoku cloud. Yes, I know it looks like one. Actually, in a lot of respects, it acts similar to an Ichimoku cloud in that we expect the market to get some support or resistance when prices encounter the hard edge of the trading band. The band does give us our directional bias, so when it's stacked like this with the soft edge above the hard edge, we look for buy signals, and when it's stacked the other way, we look for sell signals. Here too, most of the time we're looking for signals that are in sync. So we've got, in this case, a bearish band, red bars, red signal, red filter. This is what we would refer to as a hard edge bounce. But you can see right now, since yesterday's trading, the market's pretty much twisted up like a rope. Okay, are we going to get a signal here? All right, here on the Hawk, we're actually producing what we call the first micro-macro cross signal. This is a very strong signal, by the way, the first micro-macro cross. But given the sideways nature of the market, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it get down below that swing low. Can I cover it up there? Ooh, I can. All right. The tool that you see me using here on the right-hand side, this is the Trade Manager. This is a very important tool. It's perhaps the most important piece of trading software that you can own, quite frankly. What the Trade Manager does is it allows you to cap your risk on every trade at a certain percentage of your capital. Right now I have it set at 2%. Okay, so we're actually producing a signal here, but again, given the sideways nature of the market, I'm going to not take the signal on the hash mark. Rather, I'm going to look to take the signal below that low. I think it's going to be a little bit safer entry. And if we break down below here, we may actually see the market pop a little bit. Get a little bit of follow through if they can get through there. So far, they're holding tough. The Trade Manager also has 16 different stop strategies. Right now, these blue dots represent the ATR strategy. And if my stop was enabled, you could see how the Trade Manager would automatically roll my stops for me. Right now, I'm looking to hold my stop back a little bit. If we get filled here, I'm going to delete the profit objective, try to let this trade run out. Speaking of profit targets, you can also set as many as 3 preset profit objectives. Right now I have mine set all in, all out, so I'm 100% at target 1, which currently is at 10 ticks, which is my usual scalp target. But like I said, if they fill me here, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to try to run that out a little bit. All right, so I'm going to delete my profit target. I'm going to delete my break-even trigger. And let's just see whether or not we don't get a little follow through here. Or if they're playing games with us. So if I can get the market move a few ticks in my direction, what I'll do is I will enable one of my stop strategies, and I'll show you how the trade manager will actually roll those stops. Obviously not getting the follow through that I anticipated. I thought we were going to see a little bit more momentum when this filled. Stinkers. Tony's asking, Eric, what's your holiday schedule? We haven't settled on exact dates yet, Tony, but we're going to be closing up shop this Friday. We're closed all of next week until the new year. Adam, I'm sure, will send out an announcement. All right, here we go. Come on down. So we need to see them trade below this 47.50, 47.25 point. Yes, maybe. Christian's asking maybe also some information for the new NinjaTrader 8 and DTS. NinjaTrader 8, of course, released just a few weeks ago. The indicator warehouse programmers won't get busy with Ninja 8 until they're sure a stable version is out. You know what it's like whenever new software is released. There's always a couple little glitches that come up early, and then the programmers adjust for those. Yes, Frank. Frank's got it right. The cutting edge can be a bleeding edge. How true. Oh, come on. So we know there's some obvious buying support here at the 47.50 area, unfortunately. That's where I bought in, and you can see our, should have double checked the primary support line here at 47.48 3/4. We did fudge the line a little bit, but this is also part of a trend change, right? So the trend change, the trend line goes from green to red. We have our push down, that changes the trend line color. Here the buyers try to fight the market back, and with the Falcon now, if the trend is changing, we're going to get a sell signal. Now, even though the market is struggling here at the moment with my trade, worst case scenario, the market shoots up here, stops me out for a full stop out. Doesn't give me a chance to adjust my stop or anything, which is rare, by the way, but it can happen. This amount that I have at risk, this great big amount right here, is capped at 2% of my capital. you're not going to wipe yourself out trading 2% of your capital. Those times that you're trading 30% of your capital, or like me on my very first trade 20 some odd years ago, 50% of my capital. Those are the kind of trades that are going to hurt. All right, here we go. Get below 47.50. Let's go. Also working like a 4-arrow consolidation, which is another one of our hawk scalping patterns. Oh, good to know, Daryl. Daryl says, I've been running NinjaTrader 8 for a couple of months. They fixed some things and issued updates. It's pretty solid right now. I do believe it's on the books for the indicator warehouse programmers to make sure that the DTS system works with the new Ninja 8 early in the new year. As Adam will tell you, I'm terribly slow at upgrading software. In fact, I think I was probably the last person still running Ninja 6.5. Oh, we got a ton of support here at the 47.50 area now. Come on, get through there. Come on. If we can, well, they continue to hold 47.50. Eagle not producing a signal yet. Here comes that trend change signal that I mentioned on the Falcon. So we've got the down portion. That's changed the trend line color. Here's the up. They were only able to muster 1 bar up. We're producing the warning dot, so that tells you, hey, I can set up a trade if I want. And I would probably, can I risk it up there? Oh, I can too. So I've got the warning dot. I know if this bar finishes on the low, it should produce a triangle and a hash mark. And it will get me below that 47.50 area. That's been a little bit of a stumbling block. Come on, you stinkers. Let's go back here now to the action on the hawk. So we're in the middle of producing what we call a 4-arrow consolidation pattern. So 1, 2, 3, this will be signal number 4. You can see we've got the warning dot. If the market continues lower here, it's going to print the 4th signal. That's again one of our high probability signals. these high probability signals that you hear me refer to. Let me show you. Here, for instance, is what we refer to as the cheat sheet. It's the high probability signals for the hawk. So we're going to look for things like the first micro-macro cross, the macro pullback. Here's the 4-arrow consolidation, where we expect the market to move after that fourth signal prints, the post-consolidation, and then the red bar buy or the green bar sell. Oh, they're trying. Come on down. Boy, there's got to be a lot of orders right here. It's really holding that line solid. Yeah, Mark just said 3-arrow consolidation on the hawk. Actually, we're good. I'm waiting on that 4th arrow. But yes, you're absolutely correct, Mark. We've got 1, 2, 3 arrows printing. We've got the warning dot. So if this signal continues lower and prints, we're going to get that 4th signal. So ideally you want to enter, well, the low is going to print right at 47.50. The hash mark is going to be 47.25, so 49, 47.25. Good observation. Jeff writes, Eric, are the sell warning dots on the opposite sides of the bars for the hawk and the falcon? Yes, Jeff, they are. No, I don't know why that is. I guess when the programmer was designing them, he didn't pay attention. But yes, you're right. They do print on opposite sides. That's a very good observation. All right, so the hawk, or pardon me, the falcon now retreating a little bit. Looks like it may come back and give us another attempt at a trend change signal. You can see we're getting the warning dot again. I was anticipating the signal to print. We actually don't have a signal just yet. Remember, the triangle and hash mark print when we get a complete signal. And nothing going on the Eagle Trend Trader here at the moment. Things may loosen up a little bit though here, at least according to the trade forecaster, this tool here in the top left. This is another one of these system add-ons, standalone indicator, if you will. And right now it says we're in swing mode. Well, it's not swinging a whole lot. I would have pegged it at scalp mode, but it does account for the sideways nature of the market. Trade forecasters suggesting in about 10 minutes time we're going to be moving into trend mode. Well, that would be nice. Might see a little bit of follow through on this signal. All right, here now the hawk with the 4-arrow consolidation. We've completed the last signal. So we've got the warning dot, triangle, hash mark. If you want it to be safer, again, you don't need to enter right on the hash mark. You could enter below this low, so somewhere around the 49.47 mark. Tony says, ironically, the 49.48-ish area, there's a lot of action going back many days. Yes, that is true, isn't it, Tony? This whole region around 49.50 has been popular for, like you said, the last few days. Mark says we may swing up. We're below the value area low, for those of you following market profile. But we'll see, he says. Yes, we will. Time will tell. Oh, come on. The market's been painfully slow. David asks, a question please, are these moving averages, and if so, which? Simple, exponential, what are the values? Okay, great question, David, and that allows me to illustrate a point here. Yes, these are moving average lines that you see here on the Hawk. They are custom moving average lines. They're not simple or exponential. These are specifically developed by Indicator Warehouse. However, I should point out that the trading system is much more than the lines you see here on the chart. This is not just a moving average crossover system. There are actually about a half a dozen algorithms behind the scenes that have to be satisfied before the system even prints a warning dot. What you see on the chart has been put there to help you make a trading decision, to identify things like the first micro macro cross or the 4-arrow consolidation. Same thing goes for the filter down here. There's a lot of programming that goes on in the filter. Ditto for the other tools. Here on the Falcon, this trend line, of course, is also a moving average. It's also been customized for swing trading, but here too, there's about a half a dozen parameters working in the background that have to be satisfied before we even start to print warning dots. And naturally, the same would be true for the Eagle as well. I'm sure you could probably find moving average lines that correspond roughly with what these lines do, but again, it's not the moving average line. This is not a moving average crossover system. You know, if you were looking at a moving average crossover system, well, you would have bought above this bar here, so you would have bought on the high. You would have sold on this bar here, which not too bad. You would have already been in a short position. But for any of you who have ever tried to buy or sell a moving average crossover system, you know that you just get chewed up when the market goes sideways. That's why all these tools have other criteria that need to be met in the background. All right, here we go. They're going to go the other side of 47.50. Come on, get down there. Somebody dip your toe in the water. We may only get enough out of this forest scalp, you know that? All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to enable my ATR stop, just so you can see how the system moves the stop down. you saw as soon as I clicked the accept button, it took the stop from up here and it rolled it down to the last blue dot. If the market continues lower from here, we're going to see the stops start to roll automatically. Now, normally what I try to do is I try to give the market a little bit more room, especially if I'm going to try to run it out. But for the sake of the demo room, we may not get a lot of trades here this morning, so I'll demo early. And I think we got filled on our Falcon trade also. Yes, we did. And you can see we're running our auto break-even trigger here. And here too, I can enable a stop. Let's say, I'll show you here. We'll go with the ATR strategy, and I'm going to make this a little bit more conservative. I'm going to dial it back a little bit, maybe to a 3. We'll enable that, accept it, and now it will manage my ATR stop according to the parameters. If I think that's still too tight, well, I can dial it back a little bit more. So like I said, they're all customizable, and there's 16 different strategies here to choose from. And we got a little bump in the road here. What's taking them so long? Let's go. Uh, 49.44. I think that's pretty close to yesterday's low, is it not? Yes, it does seem to be 49.45, and this is where we find ourselves this morning, taking a little bit of a bounce off yesterday's low. Where stops have rolled in a little bit tight. I'm going to roll these back a little. Or maybe I'll go with something like the chandelier strategy. If you want to see what the chandelier would look like, well, you can preview that, and these orange hash marks show you how the chandelier strategy would be. If that's more to your liking, you just click on that, and now you're running the chandelier strategy. So you can adjust your stop strategy during the trade if you'd like to get more aggressive or more liberal. Sorry, I'm just trying to watch a few things here. I'm not very good at multitasking if you haven't figured it out. Christian asks a good question. Eric, when you have a correct signal in the Hawk, Falcon, and Eagle and Raptor at the same time, or maybe in 10-minute ranges, do you trade all 4 signals or make different make it different for the money management? I think what Christian is asking is, do I adjust my position size and only trade one of the tools versus trading all 4 of the birds? It varies, Christian. If the signals are developing at the same time, I'll probably just trade one tool and go in a little heavier, because then I only have one chart to watch. Even though the trade manager automatically manages my trade for me, I still kind of like to keep an eye on things. But if the signals build, so I get a Hawk signal first, and then I get a Falcon signal, then I get an Eagle signal, well, then I'll probably take each signal as it comes. I don't really have a hard and fast rule for it. So you'll probably see me do different things at different times. however the mood hits. Now, I'm not real happy that we're not getting the follow through here on these signals. I think had I taken my profit on target, I would have been out with profit already. Yes. The market came down, hit my profit objective, and now it's trying to head higher. So that's what I get for trying to run the trade out a little. Well, we'll see whether we can come back here and press the market just one more time. There's a pretty strong reaction to that low here at the 49.45, 49.44 area. All right, now that the market is recommitting, if I can get one more bar out of this, I'm going to go to a more aggressive stop strategy because we're short, right? The market topped out here, came down, struggled for a little bit, broke through the support, reacted, which happens. Now the sellers are recommitting to the sell. Sellers are showing up here. Therefore, if we get a couple bars lower and the sellers fail, in other words, the market starts to rally and get back above this 49.50 area, 49.49, 49.50 area, we're probably going to see the market rally higher. So I may as well take a quicker stop out. But I'd love to see one more. One more bar lower at least. Come on. Very balanced market here at the moment. Very reluctant market as well. All right, let's take a look here, see what parabolics are going to look like. Parabolics, one of our more aggressive stop strategies. No, that's not going to work. I'll go with the bar high-low. So that's all I'm going to give them right there. Actually, I'll give them one more tick there. And I think I'll do the same here for the Falcon. There, that's all they get. If they're not going to get their act together, then I may as well get stopped out here rather than take the full stop out, even though I've capped my risk at 2%. taking a stop out here will be losing less than 1% of my capital. So you see, it's all about money management. Even though the signals are very high probability, and as I showed you here on the hawk, had I taken my profit target on target, I would have hit my profit objective. But even though the signals are very high probability, by trying to run it out a little bit here, I've left myself in a little bit of a lurch. So now I'm just managing my trade. If in fact it does tag me out, which it looks like they might, I'll take the early stop out. Get away from there. Stinkers. Well, the sellers have left the building. And it looks like the buyers, they put in a little bit of a stronger swing here. Darn it. I should have stuck with taking profit on target. That's what I get when I try to get cute with the market. Way to go. Dan says he took the 10 ticks on the first micro macro cross. Nicely done, Dan. Yeah, Tony's probably right. Tony says, other than us, there's only about 50 other people in the world trading today. Oh, and it's only going to get worse toward the weekend. Is there a chance that we're going to ride this one out? Actually, I'm going to give it a couple more ticks. Just go on the other side of 49.50. Good question here from Dan. Is it advisable to shut down until the new year? Yes. Short answer. You can pretty much figure that the time that the kids are out of school is probably the same time that you want to take off of trading. You're really not going to miss anything. This is traditionally the time that traders take off. I don't know what it's like where you live, but the kids in the private schools are out already. Public schools go to the end of this week. And then, of course, same thing in the new year. Yeah, we got tagged there. Big surprise. They were just taking a little bit too long. So in the new year, of course, technically, the markets will, I don't know, I haven't checked the calendar yet whether the markets are open the 2nd or the 3rd. But it won't be until the week of the 9th that traders actually get back to work. Air quotes, work. All right, well, we'll just have to wait for the next signal here, unfortunately. Not a lot of commitment one way or the other. Yeah, next time I'll just scalp out. I thought I was going to be able to show you how the stops roll, but the market not cooperating. Tony's writing here, saw Trudeau, and you spell Trudeau right, with Obama on TV. Boy, does he make Obama look old. Yes. Yes, our prime minister is a little bit on the young side. Of course, age is a sliding scale. Dan's asking, is there a crude inventory today? And yes, Dan, as a matter of fact, there is, and I should probably get over there. So here's crude. I'll show you crude on the Falcon. It doesn't really matter what tool you use here, but this will allow me to demonstrate the OCO function. OCO standing for one cancels other. It's essentially a way to bracket a trade. So you can see we're well, we're still stuck between the primary resistance and the primary support. I don't want to enter right below here the primary support. Maybe I'll take a short below the next support line and maybe buy above the primary resistance. That's a little bit of a wide range, but hey, this is crude oil. Oh, and notice what happened when I clicked the OCO. I canceled the one order, the other one canceled. I'm going to use a stop limit order, and I'm going to allow myself a 3-tick stop. That's it, or a slip, pardon me. So I'm going to buy limit up there. I'm going to sell limit down here, a stop limit. I'm going to enable, let's say we're going to use a parabolic stop. There we go. Keep it nice and cozy. Yeah, actually, Steve, you're right. Obama was young when he took office. He was around 47, 48 when he took office. The presidency does have a way to age a man, though. I remember, if you really want to see a good example, look at before and after pictures of Jimmy Carter with the hostage crisis and everything. That man aged considerably in 4 years. Christian's asking, Eric, can I save my favorite trade manager settings? I think so. I don't want to goof around with that chart. Oh, you know what, Christian, bear with me a second. I'm going to let the crude inventory come out. We can save some presets. I'm not sure if we can save the exact values. Christian's giving me some settings here. He'd like the ATR with 14 and 2, not 2.618. Okay, so crude now hovering near the bottom end of this range. I'm going to bring this stop in above the median line. So we'll buy on a break above the median line and sell a break of the secondary support. Very close to yesterday's lows again. Ooh, there we go. That was a pretty brisk fill. And it looks like they slipped us the full 3 ticks. Well, there's your OCO order. I hope you didn't blink. OCO, of course, again standing for one cancels other. Gives you an opportunity to bracket the market. The trade manager automatically gave us a stop, as you saw. So we got filled. Market made a little bit of a move lower, slight reaction. Got stopped on the parabolic. If I had run something a little bit more conservative, I could probably be at break even right now. and try to nurse the trade a little bit lower. Okay, let's put that away. All right, back to the action here on the NASDAQ. Ooh, can hardly contain myself. All right, Christian was asking about the trade manager, if we can save presets. No, Christian, I don't think you can. You can save your default indicator, but when you open it up, if you don't want the default setting, you're going to have to make changes to it. All right, the Eagle was showing us a sell signal here for a moment. Our band now ever so slightly bearish. I wouldn't get too excited. It's still pretty much twisted up like a rope, so no real trend developing just yet. The hawk again, totally neutral. Oh, somebody's asking what was our profit on the crude oil trade. 1 second. So I looked to short. Yes, I guess we shorted below here. Profit, by the way, just shy of $130. It's a little bit of a rounding error. Actually not going to get 129. But that worked out not too badly. We were able to contain the slippage on it, which is nice. Crude oil, of course, can give you some pretty nasty slippage sometimes. Here's that warning dot now on the Eagle. You can see we're already printing the triangle, which means when this bar closes, we're going to produce a hash mark. This is our first with trend signal, which tends to be a higher probability signal most times. One of the nice features of getting the warning dot along with the audio alert is it gives you time to set up your signal. You're not usually scrambling to put a trade on last minute. Yeah, our other tool's not confirming what the Eagle is seeing just yet, but we'll leave that be for the moment. Getting some conflicting signals here. The Falcon now starting to look more bullish. And again, just the warning dots at the moment. I don't have a complete signal. I'm guessing that when this bar completes, I'm going to get a signal up here. It is possible on the Falcon, however, to get a couple of warning dots before a signal prints, like here. So I get 2 warning dot bars and then the signal printing. So I may fool myself and actually get in a little bit too early. I can cancel my eagle signal because that's since disappeared. The hawk giving me a first micro macro cross higher now. This again, the high probability signal. So this goes to Christian's earlier comment about, do you just take more positions on one of your birds, or do you split up your trades when you're getting multiple signals? In this situation, I would probably just trade one of the birds, take an extra contract. Because both these signals, if they're going to print, they're going to print at the same time and at the same price. Okay, my Falcon signal fading, so I'll cancel that. Not a very active day today at all, and it's that way across the board. The E-mini, of course, dead flat. Crude oil, except for that little hiccup out of the inventory report, also dead flat. The hawk now back into yellow bars, so we'll cancel that. And here comes that eagle again. Right back at that same level. An odd kind of day. You can see our trend mode didn't last very long, only about 10 minutes. And we're about to move back into swing mode. This according to the trade forecaster. See you later, Tony. Have a good day. This is just a chop fest. In fact, I think I may talk to Adam about taking an early break on the room. Here we go. Sort of. Ay, 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 come on already. Nope, they just do not want to commit. And here, Trade Forecaster now into swing mode for about 20 minutes time, after which we're into scalp mode. So it doesn't look like things are going to get any better. Here on the Hawk, we're producing a red bar buy signal. These tend to develop toward the end of a trend, not that we've had much of an uptrend to speak of. The red bar buy can be bought, so you can buy it, look for a quick scalp, or because it's also our counter trend signal, you can set up to short it. Do I want to go in for the full amount? Well, we're in demo. If we weren't in the demo room today, I wouldn't go in for the 3 contracts. I wouldn't risk the full 2%. I would dial it down to 1%. Just given the nature of the market today, that everything is so sideways and non-committal. Yeah, they're too balanced. They're pretty happy with where prices are at the moment, and I don't think they see a whole lot of incentive to move. Okay, so here we are on the Hawk, looking for a chance to scalp here to the downside, retest the lows of the morning. Come on. Here we go. Come and get. There we go. Oh, we actually got slipped a tick on that. You can see our break even now right at where our profit objective was. And I think we got filled on the eagle as well. Yes, we did. So we got a complete eagle signal. And we filled on the hash mark. There we go. Come on. You can do it. Get down there to the low of the morning. And that should get us to our profit target here on the hawk. There we go. We've hit our break-even trigger. Saw the stops automatically roll. By the way, that's an optional function. You don't need to run a break-even. Darn it. Darn it! All right. We got break-even plus 1 tick, so the broker got paid. See if we can do a little better on this eagle trade now. The buyer's holding their own. Not a real surprise though, we're right back down at these lows, right? Remember what I said at the outset, when you're in a sideways range, the best thing to do is to actually let the market get outside of that range and prove to you that it can stay out. So you're going to look for the market to break out. We'll get a little retest after the breakout, but it will be short-lived, and then you can look for your continuation signal. Likewise, if it breaks out to the upside, there'll be a retest and a continuation or a signal to tell you that the buyers, in fact, are in control, or down here, in fact, that the sellers are in control. But nothing of the kind at the moment, and so long as I continue to trade within this range, it's going to be a little bit of a crapshoot. Certainly, if we can get below the low of the morning, we should get a little bit more follow through. Dan's asking, are you looking to take 40 ticks? Yes, I am, but I may be better off just grabbing 20. I know, you're right, 40 ticks is a little ambitious, isn't it? If I can get a couple bars in my favor, what I'll do is I'll roll to a perhaps a parabolic stop, or maybe the bar high low, something a little bit more aggressive. try to capitalize on the momentum if we get any. No real momentum at the moment, that's for sure. Come on, here we go. We'll hang with it just for a few minutes more. Bo asks, why has the NQ been jumping up and down the last 2 weeks, especially around 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern? I guess it would be just the NQ is typically a little bit more volatile. Because it has more tech stocks in the mix. It's one of the reasons I like the NQ, because it is a little bit more volatile. You tend to get slightly bigger moves. Volatility, of course, is good for day trading. And what do you know? We're actually getting a little bit of follow through here on a signal now. Bo says, I'm scared of touching it now. Yeah, we've all been there, Bo. All right, I'm going to enable the ATR. We're very close to the break even. I can force the trade to break even as well by clicking the break even button. So I've forced the trade to break even +1. And what have we got? No, we got $100 in open profit. If I were smart, I would take that. In fact, oops, there we go. If we recapture the low of this bar, I'll just take the profit. Come on, get down there. All right, I'm not going to give up anything here. We'll get those stops in above the high. We'll only leave it one tick back or one bar back. There we go. All right, we're going to squeeze this trade. Either going to walk with a little bit of beer money or a little bit more beer money. Oh, that's all right. And a pretty decent way to finish today's session. I'm sorry that the markets weren't a little bit more active today. It's that time of year. Can't do too much about it, but I hope that you were able to see how the DTS system works, the tools that we have, the signal generation. I hope that it made some sense to you. If not, please feel free to email either myself or Adam, and we would be happy to answer your questions for you. In the meantime, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. And we will talk again in the new year. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.